Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It doesn't mean that if these guys declared war on Iran, we should ignore Ukraine. Are the same guys behind these two tragedies? I think so. And that's not the Russians. So what do we have here? We have a real massive drone and missile attack conducted by the Russians on Ukraine on the night of the 16th to the 17th of June 2025, which is Monday to Tuesday. The Russians launched more than 440 drones and missiles. Kiev was attacked with more than 130 drones and some 15 missiles or so. A lot of damage was created, was produced, was, I don't know, reported. While the G7 has some beautiful fuzzy meeting in Canada. That's the first topic. I will give you all the details, how many drones, how many missiles, where they were launched from, and what targets they struck. Then we 175 drones launched on Kiev only. Then we find out that a ballistic missile directly hits a 9-story building in Kiev. You see, the Russians are so incapable of attacking military targets, but they are very successful, unfortunately, according to the Ukrainians, on destroying civilian targets, not military targets, civilian targets. How is that possible? Well, someone's lying, probably. So, we have the Russians claiming that 150 Ukrainian drones were downed over Russia last night. So 450 drones launched by Russia, 150 by Ukraine. According to the deep state, we find that Russian forces advanced near 5 settlements in Sumy and Donetsk oblast. I will show you the locations. So start with the beginning, which is right here. Russia Today. Russian military strikes Ukraine's defense industry, the 17th of June 2025. The attacks targeted facilities in Kiev and part of Ukraine-controlled Zaporozhye region, the defense ministry in Moscow has said. So according to these guys, there's two things, Zaporozhye region and Kiev. All right, let's see where these guys claim they struck. I'm going to go to the map of Ukraine provided by the Russians right here. So Kiev and Zaporozhye is right here. I will show you, it's behind my melon actually. Right here. So this is Zaporozhye right here. And this is Kiev region. So they claim this area here and the area of Kiev. Let me show myself. Alright, so let's read further. The Russian military has launched a series of attacks on Ukraine's defense industry sector. There you have it, Zaporozhye and Kiev region. The goal of the strikes has been accomplished. All designated targets have been hit. Blah, blah. You think so? Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky, I like this one. Finally, these guys are smart. It's not the Ukrainian Vladimir Zelensky, it's Ukraine's Zelensky. Good job, Sputnik. Finally, you got it. Claimed, I said this for so much time, so many times I said. Claimed on social media that more than 440 drones and 32 missiles targeted facilities on Odessa, Chernigov, Zhytomyr, Kirovohrad, Nikolaev. Nothing about Kiev here. So 32 missiles and 440 drones. Again, they say Chernihiv, Zhytomyr, Kirovohrad, Nikolaev. So Chernihiv or Chernihov right here. All right, that's one. Zhytomyr in here. All right, and then you go Nikolaev in here. Okay, so these are the areas they say they hit, including Zhytomyr right here, but not Kiev. Let's go to the Ukrainians and see what they say about it, because you know they tell the truth all the time. Ukrainska Pravda. Ukraine's air defense forces down 428 aerial assets, repelling Russia's large-scale attack. Hits recorded in 10 locations. Okay, let's see. So they say they're down 422 drones out of 472 launched. So 42 is missiles and drones. On the night of 16th to 17th, the hits were recorded in 10 locations. So we find out that 440 Shahed-type attack UAVs, they were launched from Kursk, Shatalovo, Oriol, Bryansk, Milerovo, Primorsko-Akhtarsk. These are the ones, the locations where they were launched from. And I'm going to show you where these are located. So this is the map of Ukraine. We go to Shatalovo in this area here. Then you have Bryansk, Oriol, Kursk. Then you got Milerovo exactly here. This is Milerovo in here, where this little weird thing is. So, as I said, you got north, northeast, east, and Primorsko-Akhtarsk is across from the Sea of Azov, is right where my strong hand is. This is Primorsko-Akhtarsk, is exactly there. So that's where the Russian drones came from. All right, let's see what else these guys are telling us. 2 Kinzhal aeroballistic missiles from Russia's Tambov Oblast. We're going to go to Tambov and Saratov. I don't have them on the map, but I think, all right, I think that I have Tambov here. Saratov, you don't see it, but it's further east, is where the Engels 2 airbase is by Volga, north of Volgograd. All right, so that's another one. 16 Kh-101 cruise missiles from strategic aviation aircraft from Saratov. That's the one I already said. 4 caliber cruise missiles from the Black Sea. That's self-explanatory, right? Here is a Black Sea area. So from here as well. Then we have 9 Kh-59/69 air-to-surface missiles from tactical aircraft from the airspace of Belgorod and Bryansk. So Belgorod and Bryansk. This is Bryansk. This is Belgorod right here. Let me take my melon out. Right there. So from Belgorod, from here, this oblast, Bryansk, and Belgorod. I always confuse these guys. Belgorod and Bryansk. All right, what else? 1 Kh-31P anti-radiation missile. The main target of the Russian attacks was Kiev. But remember that imbecile right here? He said Odessa, Chernihiv. I forgot about Odessa. Is next to Mykolaiv. So Zelensky said Odessa, Mykolaiv right here, as I said, but nothing about Kiev. And now these guys, the Ukrainians themselves, says the main attack was Kiev. So this is what they shot down. They destroyed 422 Russian assets. 262 were shot down and 166 disappeared from radar. So it says they destroyed supposedly two Kinzhal. I don't believe it, but nevertheless, 15 cruise missiles, 8 air-to-surface missiles. All right, and then 1. They destroyed a lot of them, it seems like, right there. And let's see, they say they destroyed Odessa attack. Odessa, Zaporozhye, Chernihiv, Zhytomyr, Kirovohrad, Mykolaiv, and Kiev. The same thing as they said, Kirovohrad and Zhytomyr. And okay, so this is what it is so far. Let's go to the next one, which is going to give us more details. Ukrinform. 440 drones and 32 missiles, according to Zelenskyy. And we have the Russians, Paka-Taka, Boof, 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 civilized society, response to terrorists. Okay, we're not going to listen to Zelensky. Ukrainian forces neutralized 428, so the same information. 472 drones and missiles against Ukraine. That's a big number. Russia used 44 drones, 32 missiles, and we have here. Now, Al Jazeera. Russia launches horrific attack on Kiev. Moscow unleashed a missile and drone bombardment on Ukraine with a main barrage aimed at the capital. And we find out with the next article, Russia hammers Kiev with 175 drones and 16 missiles, according to New Voice of Ukraine. And they say Russian forces launched 175 drones, fired 14 cruise missiles and at least 2 ballistic missiles in a devastating overnight attack on Ukrainian capital and its suburbs. So, a lot of destruction there. Nevertheless, they tell us how many people died, destruction, but ballistic missile directly hits 9-story building in Kiev. So, my point is not that this is bad. This is bad. Yeah, it is bad. My point is it seems like the Ukrainians, when they claim they downed Russian missiles and Russian drones, they have a high rate of success, which is usually about between 90 and 99, sometimes 100%. But it seems like those, I don't know, let's have an average of 5% of the Russian missile drones are penetrating the air defense systems of the Ukrainian military. They almost hit civilian targets, and they're quick to show. So remember, they destroyed 2 Kinzhal missiles, they destroyed this ballistic missile, they destroyed almost all the Russian missiles. But the ones that penetrated hit the buildings. Oh, that tells you, obviously, that the Russians probably aim only at civilian targets. Therefore, when some of them just escape the air defenses of the Ukrainians, hit the intended target. That's the main point here. Do you believe that? Is it possible to be true? What these guys are saying is possible. Is it probable? I don't believe it. That's the way it is. But nevertheless, this is what the Ukrainians reported, and I report to you. So let's see how the Ukrainians returned the favor. Russia Today, 17th of June 2025. Almost 150 Ukrainian drones down overnight over Russia. Moscow was among the targeted region, with the raid prompting a brief shutdown of several airports. So Russia's air defense have destroyed, according to the Russians, 147 incoming Ukrainian drones overnight, including several targeting Moscow. And this is what they attacked. So the intercepts occurred across several areas, including Belgorod, Kursk, Bryansk, Voronezh, Tver, Lipetsk, Oryol, Tambov, Tula, and Moscow region. So this is everything. These are all, I think, going towards Moscow. So if I show you, and I will show you, this is Moscow Mule right here. Okay, so all these things seem to be Bryansk, Oryol, Tula, Lipetsk, Tambov, Voronezh, Kursk. They seem to be all towards Moscow. Let me get my melon out. Right there. So remember, it was Bryansk, Oryol, Kursk, Lipetsk, Tambov. Then you got Tula, and then you got, finally, Moscow, Tver as well. Now, this is where the Russians claim they downed the Ukrainian drones. So it says in total, right here, in total, 198 drones were intercepted between 8 p.m. on Monday and 7 a.m. on Tuesday. Oh, 198. All right, let's go to the next one. According to the new Voice of Ukraine, who uses the deep state, I think it is, Russian forces advance near 5 settlements in Sumy and Donetsk Oblast. So where are these located? Krapa-Tsapa, let's go from Moscow to this. So Sumy is right here, across from Kursk, and Donetsk is right here. This is Donetsk. So this is the Donetsk front, and they advance, I will show you, in this area in here, and by Pokrovsk, which is Krasnoarmeysk. So, and this is Toretsk as well, they call it differently, the Russians. So it's this area. I'm sorry, Toretsk is right here. Toretsk is right. These guys are advancing so fast that this seems to be like it used to be this. So this, it was like a cove, let's put it. These are advanced. Then when I'm looking here, I'm thinking, oh, this is Chassis VR here. This is Pokrovsk right here. This is Toretsk. But no, actually, this is right here. Chassis VR, Toretsk, and Pokrovsk. But the Russians advanced big time. So they advance in this area right here, where my strong hand is, and by Pokrovsk and by Toretsk. This is in Donetsk. And we're going to go in Sumy, which is northeast, right here, Sumy. So the Russians advance right here towards the city of Sumy. And this is another place where the Russians are trying something. I don't know exactly, but this is from Belgorod. Is it Belgorod? Yeah, Belgorod right here. They're trying to penetrate through from 2 directions, east and north. All right, let's see what these guys are telling us. They're going to tell us the name of the cities. Russian forces advanced near Yablunivka in Sumy Oblast and Hrodivka, Komar, Zaporozhia a village in Pokrovsk district, and Fedorovka and Donetsk Oblast. And these are by, they show her maps, but I'm going to show a different map. All right, so this is where these guys are advancing actually in this area, as I said, and they say right here. This is the area, and in Pokrovsk right there. All right, my friends, the big scheme of things, this is it. Donetsk and Sumy. And that concludes a macro, update on what's going on the Ukraine front. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.